let's dig into this topic. So I think the last half year I dedicated to look at what is actually also on our transport agenda, which topics are very hot at the moment. So one of these topics is certainly dual use. So because of the political situation, and if you read the newspaper or look into any kind of news, you probably see that we are living in a so-called VUCA world, in a volatile and uncertain times. And one of this, one of the takeaways from this is that we need also to do something in terms of, I would call it incident management, right? So you see the picture, in civil airplane and then fighter jet, but I'm not talking about now how can we transform our Pods4Rail project to military services. So yeah, it's not the topic. I'm talking about efficiency of investments. Actually, this is something what is the idea behind my presentation today. I will give you, a problem, and then I will also discuss this with an example. So that's simple two-step approach. And think about that, how they define today the dual use. So if you can read it there. That's the European definition. So dual use refers to goods, software, technologies, primary, designed for civilian or commercial application that also be repurposed for military defense and or security purposes. And my thesis here is that it's not only this military or defense purposes. It's something what the question: what do you do with all this stuff? And when it's no war, when it's no catastrophe, when it's no disease. So this is actually what I mean with efficiency of a investment or a transport investment. So use the time. We don't want to have any kind of war. Nobody likes it, but we need to do something with the equipment in peaceful times. So use it very efficiently. Use it. Also to solve problems in other industries. So if you look to the pictures below this definition, you see there are a lot of bad things happen every day. So we have also capacity crisis in the national health systems. We have wood fires around the world. We have emergency nature catastrophes. So there is, I think there's not on one single day without any bad incident on the world. So that's something like the background. Then we have, of course, also our people. So they have other issues. So they say, how can I get an MRT scan near to my home? So how can we bring mobility also to rural area, like Marian, you mentioned this, rural area, suburban area, where is no transport vehicle available, and the people are not capable to drive a car, for instance. Think about that. People, or to get an MRT or a medical doctor next to your home. So that's simply also the problems of the people in the country. For instance, I can speak for Austria. We have a very, would say, a problematic situation in the country because we have the Alps. Yeah? We have no flatlands, and so we have a lot of mountains to pass and tunnels to dig to bring mobility to the people, and that's also something what we have to consider here. And this is an example, for instance. The average utilization rate of a MRT or a CT scan in a hospital is about 40%. And I was also last in a midterm conference where the pleasure to talk with a doctor of the Karolinska Hospital in Sweden, and he was also claiming that I think the equipment is not a problem, it's the personnel. So the doctor who is behind the CT and the scan, also the assistant to the doctor. So that's also, would say, here a bottleneck for the utilization rate of the systems. So that's simply said problems which occurs daily. Yeah? If you go to the doctor, that's something what happens every day, and we need something what can offer also not just dual use, medical dual use. We need some extra benefit for the society. Then they do the acceptance, right? So if you have something what helps you every day and gives you a benefit, then you have also the public acceptance for such a system. And another example, think about, it was occasionally that I put out India and Germany, but you see from the topographic situation it's totally different. But think about that, if we have the same quality and quantity of beds in India when we come from Germany. So we have here the two numbers. We have in Germany 800 beds per 100,000 inhabitants, and in India we have 70 beds per 100,000 inhabitants. Think about that if something or if you want to transfer the same quality, the same standard to India, or you have an incident where the capacity is required in Germany. So you see there is a, would say, a discrepancy in what is currently happening, and so far it's also no secret that we see that we have some problems with national health systems. So yeah, but there are also working examples. So in the COVID crisis, for instance, they put something, a container with an MRT, with a mobile MRT system. So now the other way around, so the military supported the civil society with a mobile container solution for MRT. It's a picture from the hospital in Göttingen in Germany. So, and it was also the text there, it's extremely helpful. Also the medical staff was working more efficiently because they have now a separate container. They can do the contamination in a separate container, so it was extremely helpful. So these things are already in place, so we are not inventing something very new when we talk about dual use. And think about that picture. So that's something what was comes also in our minds when we think about how can a bot system used for this situation if there happens something, a nature catastrophe or an healthcare utilization problem. So building up these containers perfectly, the system is perfectly designed for the interchangeable container solutions, for the flexibility, for the versatile purpose of the system. And in the back you see also you can build up really some new cities to integrate these transport units into the architecture of cities. And if you think about beyond this, yeah, you have also this same idea for different transport modes. So in remote areas, for instance, or you can also imagine that in extreme situations you need something like a vertical takeoff and landing, and you can use also this transport unit for some for a very fast and quick response if something happens somewhere. Right? So that's I tried to accelerate. Do we have time for questions, or are we?
Yes. So
for coffee. Yeah. So
time is running. Time is still running, but we a little bit over. But if there are questions,
I take questions here and at the coffee break. So I will not leave immediately the stage. Yeah. So thank you for your attention and.